Hey everybody, it's Amy from Magic and Light Collection. You can find all of our products at www.magicandlightcollection.com. So I was just working on this image and I showed you how to color correct and adjust the exposure. So if you're curious about how we arrived at this color corrected image, then please go and watch that video. It's important to do that before you run your actions so that you have the best results. And so I'm going to work on this image, and it's from Olinda Pulley Photography. You can find her on the web at www.olindapulleyphotography.com. Now I want to work from the Vintage Spring action set here, and I'm going to pull up my actions by going to Window, Actions, and so now we can see Magic and Light Vintage Spring is already open. And I've kind of messed with this image a little bit so that I can see what works the best. And I really liked the all-in-one action Lovely. So I'm going to select that action and press play. Let me warn you, the sharpening is going to be crazy. I'm going to click that off. The reason for this is because it's a web-sized image and not a original RAW or JPEG image. So please excuse that for a second. That's not how it comes out. It's just a resolution problem. So you can see that that changed the image, and I'm not crazy about the way that came out initially. So we want to make sure that we're working through the layers to see what is going on. It's a little too light. So let's click on and off the lighten up layer. Okay, we'll leave that on for now. Vintage color is going to desaturate your colors just a little, so we'll click that off because we definitely want this nice creamy color. Let's check bleach. Bleach is a little heavy, so we'll take that down by using the master opacity slider here. Let's just bring it down, take it to 0, and then bring it back up. Okay, we'll leave it at a low opacity, 18%. Let's check out Lovely Tones. See what that's doing. Let's see, I think I might take that down just a little. Okay, let's check Warm It Up. I like that nice warm look. Let's check the contrast. I'm pretty happy with the contrast, but I think we'll come back to that layer in just a second. So the Lovely Haze layer, you can choose to use that or not. I think that I'm going to click it off for right now. And then there's Lovely Boost. Okay, so this is a nice pink boost that you get from this layer, and I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. So let's just, there's still something that's not quite right. So I'm going to go back through Lighten Up. Okay, we definitely need that, but I think it might be blowing this area out a little bit. So let's click on the layer mask. It's white, so I'm going to choose a black brush. Choose my brush tool here. Black is already the foreground color. And so at about a 40% opacity, I am going to brush off Lighten Up off of the front right here. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So let's just look there. And I think actually at a very low opacity, I am going to brush it off their skin. Okay, so let's check it again. Maybe brush a tiny bit more let's check the bleach again. Lovely tones. That might be a little heavy on the skin, so let's take that off too. Just a little. Okay, let's check warm it up. Happy with that. Contrast. Maybe take a little bit off the skin. And let's look at that again. I think I'm going to lower the opacity of the layer a tiny bit. And then let's check Lovely Haze. I think we'll leave that off. Lovely Boost. Okay. Then we also have Light Brush, Dark Brush, Blush Brush. I'm going to select the blush brush, and since it's a black layer mask, I'm going to choose a white brush. So I've selected white as the foreground color and have my brush tool selected. I'm going to go down to a low opacity, 16% is fine. I'm going to make my brush a little smaller, and I'm just going to click once on the cheek. Okay, click there, click there. Okay, so now I've added a little bit of blush to their cheeks, which makes it just a little bit cuter. And I probably want to go ahead and do some refreshed skin on this and really smooth out their skin and soften it to make it look like a newborn. And I've got tutorials on that, so you guys can go ahead and head over and look at those tutorials. But for now, what I'm going to do is add in just a little bit of a special effect, and I'm going to choose from the Magic Light Action Pack. That's a new set that I have, and you can find that on the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to navigate to wherever I am storing my Magic Light Action Pack image files. And I'm storing them on an external hard drive. I suggest that you guys do the same thing. Easy to navigate to, but it doesn't take up a lot of space on your hard drive. I'm going to use the Dreamlight. I'm actually in the wrong. Let me go back here. Let's see. Well, I'll use this. It's called Field of Dreams here, but in the Magic Light Action Pack it's called Dreamlight. And this overlay you only want to use on screen. So I'm going to change the blending mode to screen. And you can see that it adds some nice effects to the image. I'm just going to rotate this. And then I'm going to size it to the image. Okay, I think I'm going to take it up a little there. Okay. Click the check mark to place it on there. And so you see that there's a little bit of an interesting effect here. And we can drag this layer below if we want, so that it catches some of these effects. Now, don't drag it below Sharper Image or below Sharp Brush. It needs to sit on top of one of those two layers. So this is obviously a strong effect, and so I want to lower the opacity so that it blends in just a little bit better. Okay, and then I also really don't want these pieces on top of their skin, so I'm going to choose the eraser tool, or you can create a layer mask, it's up to you, but I'm going to use the eraser. Set at 100%. Now you see this little circle with the bar through it. It's okay, click on it and you'll get a little message that comes up. Press OK. So I'm going to take my brush tool down, and I'm going to take off these effects right over the faces. It doesn't bother me anywhere else, but I just want to make sure that we're pretty sharp on the faces. Okay, so let's take a look before I added Dreamlight and after. It just adds something really neat. It's a little magic effect, and they're sleeping, and so I think it's fitting that there's a little bit of Dreamlight around. I'm going to go ahead and use the sharp brush now. It's a black layer mask, and I'm going to choose a white foreground color, and I'm going to choose my brush tool, and I'm going to leave it at around 16%. You guys will want to turn it up, but because this is the web resolution image, I want to be sure that I'm using a low opacity brush. This is not your issue, this is my issue with importing images that you guys send me from Facebook. If you want to send me images to work on, please be sure that you send them to my email address. If you need that information, just contact me on Facebook. So I want to use the sharp brush, and I'm going to selectively sharpen the crowns that they're wearing. These little lace crowns are so cute. And I'm just going to brush the sharpness on them here. And there we go. So before I sharpened, you can see after I sharpened, it's much sharper. I like that this is pretty soft, so I would not be sharpening this image really, except perhaps around the eyes. I'm going to have to take mine very low here. Just want to go over the eyes a little bit, make sure that they look nice and sharp. So I'm happy with this edit actually, and this is probably where I would stop. Let's check it out before we ran this action and added Dreamlight. This is the before, this is the after. So I think it's pretty cute, and there you have it. So I hope that you found this helpful. You can find all of our products at www.magicandlightcollection.com.